Okay, hi friends. Here we are on part 2 of screws, nuts, and bolts. So now that we have talked about your big job and your learning objectives, and we read the story, and we talked about a few examples of things that have screws, nuts, and bolts and why they have them, now it's time for us to explore together and look at some things that I found in my home that have screws, nuts, and bolts, and I'll show you what I found and how they work. Okay, and then once I do that, we're going to look a little bit more into detail with this toy school bus because that's one of my favorite toys and I think you'll like it too. All right, so let's show you some of the things I found in my home. So before I had mentioned about Matthew's video game, and one of the pages in our book talked about screws holding together a video game. So I'm just going to put this up to the screen as close as I can, and you might be able to see in each corner there are little screws that hold the case on so that it can be played with safely. And I'll just show you the inside. The screws are really small, but they serve a purpose, and hopefully you won't have to get in there and turn the screws with your toys. You want to keep it safe. Now, also, I was looking at the bottom of my computer mouse. My mouse is red and on the top and red on the bottom. And I saw, I'm just going to point with my screwdriver here, 4 little areas. Let me get right up to the screen. Little areas where there could be a screw underneath, and those screws help hold the cover on the mouse. Let me turn it over this way so that I can use it to help operate my computer. So that's something we use every day, but we don't always look on the underside where the screws are. And since I'm showing you my screwdriver, those of you that are in my classroom in room 10 know that Miss Pam always has her toolkit somewhere close by because there's always something to fix. So one thing that I do a lot with my eyeglasses, and I'll pull that right up here to the screen if I can, I always need to tighten the side screw on my glasses. And parents, I'm sure if you have glasses at home, you understand Miss Pam needs to tighten that screw to hold the side piece onto the lens part so that the glasses stay on safely. I found something else in my house, and when I was looking at it, I asked myself, does this plastic stop sign have any screws, nuts, or bolts? So I'm going to hold it up to the camera closely, and I want you to look. And I'm going to look at it too. I'm looking at both sides. It's plastic and it's smooth, and I do not see any screws, nuts, or bolts in this. So when we are exploring, it's always good to look for the things that are mentioned in our story, and also to look at things that are not part of what we're reading about, so we know the difference between things that we should be exploring and things we do not need to explore. Things that do fit in our category and things that do not fit into the category. Okay, I went in my kitchen and I found my mixer. And I realized that, I'm just going to take one of these pieces out. The mixer blade goes into the machine and is held in by a screw. And I'm going to turn it on so you can hear it. Yeah, so if you've ever heard mom and dad or your grandmom or granddad in the kitchen and you hear this noise, that's a pretty good bet that they're making something good in the kitchen and you might want to go in there in about 20 or 30 minutes. When I was growing up and I heard this sound in my grandmother's kitchen, I knew I better get somewhere close to the kitchen fast. All right, so the other thing I have is a toy screwdriver and a plate that holds a lot of screws. So I'll show you the front and the back. Okay, here's my screwdriver, and I'm going to turn it on so you can hear it. Okay, let's see how this works. So you can see on my plate, I have a green screw right there where my finger is. So I'm going to put the screwdriver on and see if I can get the screw to go into the plate. Oh, good job, Miss Pam. I really like using power tools. So you can see the screw went straight in. Now I can also use my screwdriver to back that screw out so that I can keep practicing. So watch what I do and listen. Oh, look at that. There it is. It fell right on my computer. So I know I got it out. I can also use my hand to turn this screw into the plate. So I can use my hand as a tool. There we go. So that's something fun that we can practice in the classroom. And I just wanted to show you that all of these screws that are in here are ones that I have practiced putting in with students. So I like to feel it because it's kind of bumpy and it makes noise and it's colorful, and I get to use my power tool. How about that? Okay, what else do I have here? Now we're going to look at the school bus. So this is one of my favorite toys because I love everything about school, and I know when I go out to the front porch area of our school and see the buses, I know that my friends are coming to school. So that's why I like this toy. So I'm going to put it on my hand and show you how you can roll it back and forth. It makes noise. Did you hear that? That's the wheels. And then if we look at the bottom, I'm going to put that up here to the camera. You might be able to see the little screws in the bottom that hold the top plate onto the wheelbase. And also the wheels themselves are held on with screws into the axle in the front and the back. Okay, so when you're doing your exploration at home, I bet you might have some toys that are similar to that. Okay, let's go to our next slide. Okay, now, you know what your job is at home to explore, just like you explored with me. So first read the story. We've already done that. Now search for toys in your house that use screws, nuts, and bolts, just like I did in my house. Next, ask your parents to help you explore how the toy feels in your hands. Roll it on the floor or roll it on your arm. Listen to the sounds and move it in different ways and see what you hear, what you feel, and think about that. Think about how the toy operates when you touch it with your hands. And while you explore, I want mom and dad to help you when you're exploring and point to the screws, nuts, and bolts. They're going to say the words and you point with their help to where the screws, nuts, and bolts are located on your toy. Just like I showed you with my bus and the wheel, how there's a screw or some nuts and bolts in there that hold it onto the axle. Then the big thing is take a picture of your learning experience and email it to me, because I love, love, love seeing your pictures and videos of all of the good work that you are doing at home while we are away from each other. So, thank you for being a great learner today. I very much enjoyed exploring this topic with you, screws, nuts, and bolts. And please feel free to view this video at any time, and also to share it with your friends and your brothers and sisters, because I'm sure they enjoy learning just like you do and I do. So again, thank you for being a great learner. I hope we get to see each other very soon, because I miss everyone so much. So bye for now, and I'll see you in our next video. Okay, thank you again.